161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep center. Gets back, away back. She is gone.
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 115. Today I'm joined by, my name is Luke, and today I'm joined by Damon, Chandler, and Murph. Murph was going to be a healthy scratch, but he joined us today. He's going to sneak it in before he takes his test or whatever the hell he has to do. Yankees drop another series against the Blue Jays. But at least we didn't get no hit. There's two teams in the MLB right now that have been no hit, and we're, for whatever reason, not one of them. We probably will get it now that I said that, but for the time being, we haven't been. Ugly series, ugly all around, but how are we doing, boys?
Hot take, I wish we did get no hit. That way we could at least be a part of something cool and like exciting to watch.
That's terrible.
That's not good.
If we're going to lose, we might as well make some history in the
That's not the history that we
no
want
one's
to be
going
a
to
part
remember
of.
that. That was a terrible take, Chandler.
At all.
But you know what? If it has to happen to somebody, I'd rather watch, Rodon almost throw a perfect game against us than lose to the fucking Blue Jays by 1,000.
That was some bullshit. I know he's not like on the Yankees or whatever, but that was some bullshit. He should have had a perfect game.
Why was that? Do you think it didn't hit him?
I mean,
no, like it hit him, but like he could have pretty easily gotten out of the way. And like,
if you're the
kind of thing where like, it was a good pitch. It's not like he like ran in a fastball and hit him in the shoulder. Like it caught his back foot, and he was talking to him as he was walking to first too. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, congrats. You got on base by getting fucking pegged by a slider. You're so good.
As far as I'm concerned,
I wouldn't get out of the way. Either way, in other Yankee news, I don't know how well this episode's going to go in terms of our morale. It's honestly been ugly to watch this team. It's the first time in a while that I personally, it's felt like a job to watch. I don't know about you guys, but it's like, yes, I like the Yankees, but there are a lot of other teams out there that are playing very exciting baseball, and the Yankees are certainly not one of them. I'm not worried about the team as a whole yet. Worried about a lot of things individually, but I do think they're going to bounce back. Honestly, if we look back to these past two games, that's the only new games we're going to be talking about this episode because that's the only new ones that happened. There's an off day today, but honestly, they did hit with some runners in scoring position. That's one thing that kind of happened. That they did hit with runners in scoring position. They didn't get many hits, but when they did get them, they were with runners in scoring position. We kind of lost on a cheap wind-blown home run on the Bo Bichette home run. That's some of the little things that I am not as worried about. It was a close game down to it. It is what it is. I'm not that worried about this team moving forward. It's just some terribly ugly baseball to watch right now.
Yeah, and Boone said it in his press conference. He said, yeah, the boys will get hot. We're just waiting for them to get hot. And that's our game plan, apparently. We're just waiting for us to get hot. So
what do you do when they don't get hot?
You wait longer, I guess, and hope for the best, and then you don't, put someone batting second who doesn't usually bat second and hope for the best.
Yeah. Let me put the guy who's the coldest hitter on the team in Stanton in second. That's what's going to shake it up. That's what's going to get us out of this double play slump. Get the guy that can't run and put him second.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting serious Savages in the box vibes about this upcoming series with the Rays. I'm honestly, it's setting up to be that way. It's going to be a rainy day on Friday tomorrow when this is released. I'm going to the game tomorrow. I went to the Savages in the box. It was against the Rays. All those cards are lining up. We're coming in pretty down, nobody's playing well. The team looks flat, doesn't look like they want to be there. I'm getting serious deja vu, and I think Boone's got to one-up the Savages in the box. I tweeted about that, and I really do believe he's got to do something. I personally, if I was Boone, I would just go into the visiting dugout. I would pick out Kevin Cash, and I would just punch him in the face. And that would be my way to start it up, and then you get ejected, and that's fine, because he's not really the manager anyway. He just gets decisions made for him. So, but all jokes aside, I am getting serious vibes that he needs to do something like that. And
we need some spark.
I think he's going to get ejected tomorrow. That's put that in stone. That is exactly what's going to happen tomorrow.
I don't care what it is. We need some spark somewhere. We need a big play. We need a big hit. We need a big fielding, diving, whatever. We need someone to punch someone in the face. We need something. I don't care what it is. Someone get ejected. Any of those above, we just need something to spark this team up because, like you mentioned before, it feels like a job watching the games lately because they just don't look excited to be there and playing, and we need some spark to turn that around.
I thought the Rays game that they snuck out, I don't know, earlier in the week, Monday, whatever day it was, I thought that might, do something. You got the guy in right field just fucking letting it hop over his head, something, a few lucky bounces, like, hey, look, we can actually hit baseballs again and score runs. Sweet. Maybe that'll, but I was dead wrong. They looked like complete dog shit. They probably should have lost the first game against the Blue Jays too and gotten swept, but thank God Higgy turned into Babe Ruth for a game. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what can spark them. I really don't know. It's not like watching the Braves where Acuna's nobody on this team's tagging up on a fly ball to the shortstop. They're probably going to tear both hamstrings if they do try.
Dude, the thing is though, it's been a one-man show whenever we win a game. And those are you hear Higgy. It's Higgy versus the world. He hits 2 home runs, and that's the only RBIs we have. The next game, Aaron Judge is the only RBIs we have. We need somebody else we need a team effort to do something. It's always just these solo shots, and if someone doesn't hit 2 home runs in a game, then we're not winning. We
were the last team, I believe, to score a run in the first inning this year. That was Aaron Judge's
home run.
Really?
That's a good stereometric stat.
It's usually DJ leading off with the home run, so maybe he'll get that going again.
Would think.
Honestly, okay, let's. We seem like we're down. I am not. Are you guys worried about this team? What's the panic meter at right now? It's got to be at 0.
I'm at 0.
I'm not even going to ask you guys. There's no panic meter whatsoever going on. We're just not happy with the product on the field, and that's completely understandable out of Yankee fans. We're not saying, hey, we're so worried. It's just not fun. So we're going to start a new segment. It's called Hot and Not. So it's just a little lightning round segment. I'm going to start off with Murph with Hot. I'm going to read them out 3 players on the team that are currently currently playing well, and then on vice versa, we have 3 or 4 players who are playing not so well. There's a lot to choose from on this episode of Hot or Not. We're going to do this once a week. It's going to be about the at-bats and stats from the past week. And this particular time, since we don't really have much new information to talk about from the 2 games that we watched, it's going to be from the past 2 weeks. So basically, pretty much the whole season. So without further ado, the first Hot or Not, the hot is going down right now. And the first one, Murphy, ready for this? So when I say the stats for the player, you're going to tell me if you're buying or selling that. Is it fool's gold, or are you actually buying into this player actually being hot? So Aaron Judge, 282 batting average, 10 games played, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, 164 weighted runs created plus.
Is the music going to stop, or is this playing the whole
keep
time?
going.
All right.
Really fucking loud.
Yeah,
yes
it's
or no?
kind of driving me crazy. But, I'm buying into Judge. I think.
All right, Darren O'Day, 5.1 innings. We'll talk about it after. 5.1 innings pitched, 0 home runs, 0 ERA, 2 holds in 6 games.
Yeah, hot.
Kyle Higashioka, 333 batting average, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 352 weighted runs created plus in 2 games.
Hot when he's catching Cole. Otherwise, I'm not buying it.
Oh, wait, we got one more. And Garrett Cole, 18.1 innings pitched, 1.47 ERA, 1.17 FIP, 14.5 Ks per nine. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. So let's talk about those. There were not that many.
Music back.
Huh?
I think we might need to dial the music down a little bit for the next.
No, it's fine. I like the music. So what do we think about that? There's not that many people to choose from here, but I did my best. There are some players. There are some individual players that are doing well.
The one I want to elaborate on is Judge, because obviously, his stat line's been really good, but it's not like he's necessarily hot. That's kind of what we need from him, what we expect from him. He's the superstar and whatever. If anybody else is hitting that stat line, then obviously that's a little different story. But
yeah,
I think he's stove just turned on. It's on low heat.
Yeah, Judge is now playing what we expected to. If he was playing hot, I think he would be doing, having production every game and really leading this team right now. But he's not. He's kind of just hitting a home run once in a while or having a multi-home run game, and then that boosts his stats up. But on a day-to-day basis, I mean, he's doing his job.
I completely.
Not a lot of other
I don't
people
know
are.
what I mean, he's very much so hot. He's doing Judge things. His weighted runs created plus is 164 in the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't really had many days that are glaring that he just went over like Stanton has, which may be mentioned in a future segment in about 2 minutes. But I don't think that we're giving him enough appreciation. Yes, I think the black eye that has been on him is that he was in and out of the lineup. And when he's been in the lineup, and it's always been a thing, it's always been everybody else, all the analysts, and they say when he's healthy. It is a when he's healthy thing, and it's not. He's never not done not only his job, but he's literally carrying the team when he's in the lineup. And one thing that I did notice is that usually in games where Aaron Judge does well, we do well, and this is the one time that I don't think he's doing enough on his own to make that happen.
I think they read off a stat about it during the game yesterday where he had 2 home runs. Like, we're like 9-1 aside from yesterday, obviously, in games where he has multiple home runs. So it's kind of fun.
I think the difference is, and I think the other reason why we're saying that he's doing his job, he's doing enough, right? That's what we expect out of Aaron Judge.
I think he's doing more than enough. I don't know. You're the one who keeps underselling him right now.
No,
hot or not.
No,
I
think
he's not the hottest on the team.
He's
single-handedly making these games haven't been blowouts because Aaron Judge has been putting the team on his back and doing the Judge things. I mean,
that doesn't really make him
crazy.
hot, though.
Huh?
Like,
I think he's hot.
I feel like anybody that's hitting under 300 over the last week or two isn't like piping hot.
That's
same
true.
way, like,
There is,
you mentioned
many
like
people
O'Day.
that-
Like O'Day is hot.
he's
He has
doing
this is
enough, and
0
everyone
ERA.
else is doing
He's throwing a lot
so shitty that it makes him seem like he's.
I mean, 164 weight. I get what you're saying, but
I mean,
164
what could
WRC plus
there's
is-
nothing else he can do though. That's what I'm like. He can go
Well, yeah.
out and have a 3 home run game every day, but it's not going to make up the difference. Like,
and also
right now, as far as hot goes on the team, he's doing exactly what he's not on like some historic stretch like Acuna, but he's
That's
doing
what I'm
exactly what you want for a season of Aaron Judge. If he does this or close to it for a whole season, I mean, he's in the MVP conversation. You can't be upset
Certainly.
at that.
Yeah,
So, I
That's
mean,
the thing. I
he's
feel like
doing-
what he's doing
Nobody
now
can
is
be
sustainable.
hot when the rest of the team is playing
Mhm.
so bad. It doesn't give you the opportunity to get hot. You can't
That's what I
drive
was
in
gonna
runs
say.
if there's nobody on the bases.
And if you're
Absolutely.
not-
But I
if
feel
you're
like
not
what
being
he's
healthy.
doing is sustainable for him. Like, he can carry on this pace for the whole season. Whereas like somebody who's hot is on doing something within the last week that can't translate to a full season. Like O'Day's
Yeah.
obviously not going to have a 0 ERA for the whole season.
So let's
That kind of
do-
He
Dial
gets
it
one
back
ice
into-
cube. Wait, he gets one ice cube in his heat, and that's for the fucking fly ball that he missed that went to the wall. They ended
we'll
up
talk
throwing.
about that. But we're
Cabin
talking
out at
offensive stuff right now. But let's talk a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. We talked about Darren O'Day. It's been my guy. Darren O'Day is completely my guy, and he is. See, I'm glad that this is at least happening or starting to happen this way because people can't throw it in my face and be like, "Oh, you wanted this guy." Now I look like a genius. I did see one comment on some post. I'm sure you guys saw it too. That we should have Luke be the GM because that was on the Tyler Rogers post, and I wanted to get all the sidewinders because I have a sidewinder fetish, and I want them all to be on the Yankees. And I mean, I was right about him right now. 5.1 innings pitched, small sample size, Murphy, but 0 home runs, 0 ERA, and he's got about, I think, 5 hits given up in the 5 innings. So he's been doing really great. The thing that was a little bit cool to see, obviously due to Britton being down, but he's got 2 holds. So and we saw that right out of the gates that he got bumped up into basically the setup man. I mean, it was either him or Chad Green, and he was the setup man the day he was a closer when Chapman was out. And Chapman is obviously somebody else who can make this list, but I expected that out of him. And he also didn't pitch as much as Darren O'Day. So I don't know. I'm just really, really happy with what Darren O'Day has done. And I do think he can continue this. And that was kind of what when I'm saying yes or no, hot or not, that's what I mean. Is this fool's gold or is this real? Like I think Darren O'Day actually is real. He's got a funky delivery. People hate hitting him. He's a magician out there. I mean, that's just what he is. And I think it'll continue. Obviously, like you said, 0 ERA is pretty damn near impossible. I don't think it's ever been done, but I think if somebody ever can do it, I think big Darren O'Day is the guy. I was trying to coin a nickname for him, but it's not going to be a good one.
I'm okay with him like kind of staying in that hole setup kind of role, even when Britton comes back. Because if he keeps pitching the same way he is, and Britton comes back and pitches the way we're expecting him to, then I'm okay with sliding Green down to the middle reliever role and letting him get to important innings. Because so far, what we've seen is that people aren't going very deep. So if we have a Chad Green that can throw 2 high quality innings, that's really good. Because Kluber's coming out after 4, Montgomery's not going to go 6 or 7. Tyone's probably not going to go 6 or 7. So there's going to be some times where we're going to be in 1 or 2 run games and have to bring in a reliever in the 5th or 6th inning. So yeah, if he can keep it up, then that can slide Chad Green into that role out of the bullpen to fill 2 innings instead of Loizaga, which Loizaga is fine too there. But if we can put Chad Green there, that'd be awesome.
I've been on the Loizaga all season. I know that he's not on the Darren O'Day thing, but it kind of ties into the bullpen. I mean, what I saw from him yesterday and that bases loaded and getting out of that and everything, really, really big confidence booster for me. I was already high on him, but I mean, if you have multiple guys that can do that, and then you have Wilson, who looks good, O'Day, who obviously is the best pitcher in the American League, and then Britton and Chapman and Green, that's something that can bridge the gap from the starters who apparently can't fucking figure anything out outside of Cole.
I think that Darren O'Day is playing above expectations, and that's a more so reason why he fits the hot category. And
I put him in hot on purpose, but I don't think he's under my expectations. I expected.
No, being realistic. Let's be realistic for a second.
Definitely overperforming. Whenever I talk about Darren O'Day, it's half a joke, half not. So
it could have gone really wrong.
That's a different set.
I was driving today, and I was listening to the Michael K show from yesterday, and it wasn't Michael K. It was the guy that was on with him. I can't for the life of me remember his name, but he was talking about how the only person who can go 7 innings out of the Yankee starters is Cole. So he wasn't talking about the bullpen necessarily, but like we've been saying, we have Sessa who can go 2 innings, we have Loizaga who can go 2 strong innings, and we have Chad Green who can go 2 strong innings. So it's going to matter, especially coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
And Darren O'Day is going into high leverage situations too. It's not a big thing.
He's done that before. We've said that before in other podcasts. He's been in the closer setup role in playoff games in the past 2 years, and in prior years too, when he was on the Orioles, on the Braves last year. He's been there. He's done that. He's been around the block. Let's move on to Higashioka. I personally think this is the one that I would set you guys up to say not for, because obviously nobody in the world is going to have a 352 weighted runs created plus. That's over 2 games. But what I will say about him is if he keeps doing it, and we posted that picture about, he's not Garrett Cole's personal catcher. Garrett Cole is his personal pitcher, because when he's hitting the splits that people talk about, when he was catching Garrett Cole, the numbers are down. But also when he catches Garrett Cole versus when he catches a regular game, he's batting 450 and he's batting 100 when he's catching anybody else. So it's just a wild thing that's happening, and it's not even like a super small sample size. It's kind of big at this point. I don't know if those numbers are specifically about this year. I think they might have been, but I mean, I'm not here for it, and I want to pat ourselves on the back really quick, because we did say that what if they gave Stanton a little pine and DH Gary and then catch Higgy, and that did happen. So I want to pat ourselves on the back for that, and we also called Gio moving to shortstop for a game. So both of those immediately happened after the podcast. So maybe
you shit on me for saying that Sanchez could DH, and
I'm just saying a member of this team called it. So
okay, I was going to say one of us specifically in the far left corner was very anti that.
Team win. We're a team. So let's move into the not. So Damon is going to answer the nots for me. So are you worried, basically, is what I'm asking when I say yes. When you say yes is, yeah, I'm worried about this, and no is whatever.
Worried for the long term?
Yeah, going forward. Obviously.
So are they going to bounce back or not, basically?
Using this information that I tell you right now, do you think they're going to pick it back up, or are you really thinking this is what they are and this is where the direction they'll move? Just say yes or no.
Okay, should have clarified that for the last one.
So there were a lot to choose from this time around. Obviously, the Yankees not been playing too hot. So these are the nots. Corey Kluber, 3 starts, 10.1 innings pitched, 2.61 home runs per 9, giving up the long ball, 6.1 ERA, 7.2 FIP. Does that worry you?
Yes.
Okay. Stanton, 175 batting average, 10 games played, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, pretty high there, 44 WRC plus, and a 28% K percentage.
No.
Clint Frazier, 9 games played, 200 batting average, 0 home runs, 0 RBIs, 65 WRC plus, and a 30% K percentage.
No.
There were many more to choose from, but I picked those 3 because I thought they were pretty good headlines. They were the biggest boo-boos, I'd say. There were other people that, aren't playing well and probably won't play well. These guys I had expectations for, so I thought these were good ones to mention. So you said yes to Kluber.
You said yes, no.
No. Okay, so tell me why you said yes to Kluber.
Well, I think that he, as becoming a Yankee and his recent, this is his most recent pitching performances in MLB. There hasn't been much to be crazy about so far. So there's nothing for me to look forward to or work off of, or there's no real reason for me to be optimistic. If he came out and had a lights out game 1 and then like a shaky game 2 or like somewhere in the middle, I'd be a little more optimistic. But because of the fact that there wasn't anything that was blowing me away, that's the main reason why I said yes to that. But because, on the flip side, Stan and Clint, I know what they can do, and it's still early on the season. So that's my reasoning behind those 3.
We can all agree that Clint lost his starting job, right?
Yep.
I saw a tweet the other day that kind of made me laugh. It was
Brandon Cuddy.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was like Higashioka isn't Garrett Cole's personal catcher, just like
In the
Clint
same
Frazier's
way
our
that Clint
starting
is our
left
starting
fielder.
Yeah. And I think that's happening. Yeah.
That's the other thing Michael
And
K
that
was talking
makes
about.
me
He
sad.
said they're the exact same thing. Like, why did Boone even say those at the beginning of the season?
It's ridiculous, and no opportunities for him. But we talk about that way too much. But
R.I.P. Clint.
I mean,
out in left field.
It's warranted.
until he hits one home run, then
how many games?
I'm concerned about Stanton, actually. I don't think he's going to be that bad, but I thought he was striking out more than that, which I know 28% isn't good, but with the way
my bad.
How much?
26. Clint was 30.
Okay, well, either way, 26 is
Probably all looking too.
Down the middle.
Well, it's that, but it's the soft I know he hits balls. When he hits them and gets a hold of them and barrels them up, they're fucking, missiles. But I'm kind of nervous. He hits a lot of rollover ground balls. It seems like this year he's popping out a lot. Just it could be, a small issue that's easily fixable. But, usually my worry with Stanton is the strikeouts and, like a laser line drive out here and there that kind of, whatever, pop-ups, whatever. But he's just rolling over into lazy groundouts. That scares me for the long term. Like, I don't think he's going to be that bad, but, that's kind of alarming.
I think at this point in the season, I'm just happy he's in the lineup. I think, with more at-bats, he's only played the 10 games, so you could still call it like the early season, not having the timing down, what have you.
Clint or Stanton?
So I think Stanton, sorry.
Yeah.
But I think Stanton's going to come back and be just fine eventually, even if it's not, like you said, 50 home runs. He'll figure it out as long as he can stay healthy. So as long as he's healthy, I'm not worried about how cold he is.
Because he'll get reps too, Aaron Boone's not taking him out of the lineup if he's healthy.
Unless
they
keep benching him.
Yeah, they won't be recurring.
They keep trying to get him 2 days off in a row. So it's always been the games before an off day.
Which I hate.
Which is ridiculous in his
which
own
sucks.
End,
yeah, that's stupid.
We beat
but
that to death.
That's where it is.
Happening. I don't know. I'm personally, I'm not gonna say yes or no that I'm worried about the Clint one. I think I'm not worried about Stanton. I think he's just a streaky player. I think Clint, I'm a little bit worried. I wouldn't consider it worried, but the only reason why I'm saying I would say yes to that, just to play devil's advocate here, is because he clearly has not. He lost his left field starting job. I think what they're going to do going forward is a platoon thing. And Boone even said, he likes Gardy, and that was always known. But now he's finally saying it, and he came out before and said, Clint's got a starting job. Clint, we talked about it last episode, shortest leash out of probably anybody in the MLB. They pull the leash, and now what I think going forward is it's going to be a platoon. It's going to be a platoon. and that's going to be the way they do it. And, the other guys are going to need rest. Judge is going to need his off days. Hicks, whatever the fuck is happening with him, they may want to bench him or give him rest because he's hurt and bad. So it's just there's a lot of reason to think that this not regression, I would say, but where he started out, he's not going to get a lot of opportunities, everyday opportunities to turn it around. And he's one of the biggest guys. We always say it all the time. He's a head case. He either can run with it and get hot, or if you're not ensuing confidence inside him, it's gonna hurt him. And I think that he's gonna have a very tough time turning around because they clearly don't have faith in him, and it's been shown time and again.
Yeah.
So
I mean, here's the thing. I think that if Clint if he gets spot starts and is not playing consistently, then I'm worried. If he plays more and Boone for some reason changes his mind and abides by him being the starting left fielder, my worrying goes away. But if he continues to play every now and then, Brett Gardner's playing 40% of the time, he's not going to do well. He needs the reps, needs to get into a rhythm, and if he doesn't have the opportunity to do that, he's not going to be who we want him to be, and who we think he can be.
The platoon thing scares me because Boone has shown time and time again that he cares way too much about lefty-righty. So when Guardy's getting in for Clint, it's always against the right-hander. So if they're platooning based off lefty-righty, then Clint's not even going to see 50% of the games, which really, really is unfair to him, especially since he was called the starter. And what are you doing? I don't know. I don't hate seeing Guardy in the lineup, but if you want,
I would rather. Yeah, I mean, why don't you bench Hicks? I don't get. I mean, I know he had the 3-hit game the other day, and they try and spin the stats on the Yes Network broadcast. Ooh, is Hicks heating up? He's 5 for his last 20, and they're like, well, yeah, 3 of those came in one game, but yeah, but I don't know. I would like to see more of a mix, not just take out Clint completely and just be like, yeah, okay, well. They're 1-for-1 swap. There's plenty of guys that need a rest on this team. So
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
You guys, Are we across the board a yes for Kluber? Damon said yes. I'm not. Gonna have to put a yes.
I'm not that worried.
No, Kluber's a notoriously slow starter anyway. I mean, not this bad, but he's always pitched to a higher ERA in April and March, whenever. But the first however many 5-6 starts this season, he's always kind of a slow starter. And I mean, he also hasn't played in 2 years. So factor that in with the slow start. I don't think he's going to be a Cy Young winner, but I think, down the stretch, he'll be at least adequate, at least a back end mid rotation guy at the very least.
I think I think the same thing. I think that he has the stuff. They said he's throwing with the same velocity has been throwing the last couple of years. It's just going to take him a couple starts to settle in. And he's not, like we mentioned before, going to be the guy that's going to go 7 innings. But if he can find his role and we can kind of save up the bullpen for a day that he can pitch 5 innings and give up, 1 or 2 runs tops, then we're going to be just fine with the guys we have in the bullpen.
His issue so far has been location oriented from what I've seen. And a guy that's been around that long, I don't think that that's just unfathomable that he won't figure it out. He knows what he's doing. He clearly knows how to pitch. If it's just location, which right now it looks like that's the main issue, I think he can easily figure that out just through repetition.
And Tyone, just a cookie cutter of what you said. I know we didn't mention him, but he, I think, is the exact same thing. I think within a month or two, they're both going to be able to figure it out.
Tyone's stuff is nasty.
So let's get into the news.
His stuff's there.
The first news topic I have is about that. The sound wasn't good.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. So the first news topic that I wanted to talk into is a good segue, actually, with the Kluber talk and now Tyone too, is that the bullpen is being ridiculously overused. I don't know if you guys have seen that graphic that Yes Network put out the other day. I can look at it right now, but it's right here. Yeah. So the pitcher usage or the bullpen usage over the last 7 days, I mean, just to briefly go over it, Chapman was used 3 times this week. Green was used twice, and there were 30 pitches each. O'Day was used 3 times this week. There's just a lot of pitchers throwing a lot of innings, a lot of days too. Sessa went 4 days this week. We had 4 games this week, so he pitched every day, it seems. Nelson went 38 pitches on the 9th, and he went 20 the first. I mean, just the bullpen is getting very taxed. Litke went 49 pitches on April 9th. It's just, it's the same song and dance that we've seen before. And this is a good segue from what we were just talking about, and let's keep talking about it, is the Klubers, everybody outside Garrett Cole, and even Garrett Cole, he was not pitching bad by any means, but he's not going 9. He's going like 7. So even on Garrett Cole days, we still need to use some bullpen arms, is what I'm getting at there. But everybody else isn't going over 4 innings. They're all going 4 innings. And I get it. They are, just trying to not get them hurt. They're easing them all back. Tyone is coming off injury. Kluber is coming off injury. All these players are coming off injury. But at what point are you using too much of the bullpen, and they're more at risk to get injured now? So it's weird that kind of thing can flip, and now we're going to talk about them being overworked again, like we have for the past 2 fucking years. So
I guess to me, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, you can be upset that they're not going, they're not going deep into the games. We're using the bullpen, whatever. But also, I'm worried because those are our main guys. But on the back burner, there's a part of me that's like, okay, we'll be okay because we have a lot of depth. It might not be amazing depth, but you've got Devi behind that who's proven he can do it. You've got Mike King who looked good. You've got Nelson who is a starter turned reliever, whatever. And then, just keep adding it on. All of those pieces that aren't great but good, they can kind of fill the gaps to where the bullpen's not going to be completely gassed come October. I mean, it's not ideal. In a perfect world, we'd have 3 starters that could actually give us quality starts, but that's not the cards we were dealt, and I'm not that concerned about overusing the bullpen just for that reason.
Yeah. If there's any bullpen in baseball, if there's any bullpen in baseball that can sustain this kind of usage, I think it's the Yankees, because not only do you have 4 guys who could theoretically, when Britton's back, come in any 7, 8, 9, but you also have guys, as we said before, that are converted starters that can go a couple of innings, and some of those overlap. And then, you mentioned all the names that are kind of those alternate site up, down, like the Michael Kings of the world, but we also have Devi, who could, obviously don't want him to come up too early and come out of the bullpen if he's not ready for that. But if worse comes to worse and we really need him to, then he can. He's another one of those guys that can go a couple of innings. So It'd be really cool if the bats would get going and we wouldn't have to use as many arms per game. If we can throw, say Cole comes out in the 7th and we're up, 6-0, 6-1, then you can put in Loaizaga to finish it out.
All right, we had some technical difficulties. That was enough pitching talk. Let's move on to the next topic in the news. So Judge has been playing pretty good offensively, but something that I've noticed is that when he's playing right field, or playing anywhere for that matter, obviously just right field, he seems like he's pulling up on balls when he's fielding, and it seems like he's playing scared. And he even said that he was playing cautious, is the word I think he used, because he doesn't want to re-injure himself. And I remember back in the day that he said he would never play like that. He would always dive for balls. I remember specifically when they were talking about the Angels dive, where he got injured and cracked his rib or something, that he was always going to dive for balls, and that's the player he's going to be. So now he's very much so looking like he's playing scared. There was one that he just came up. There was one a couple games ago when he was near the wall, which that's fine. I don't need you diving into the wall with Derek Jeter. You're going to get hurt that way. But on the ones that he's pulling up on and not even just trying to make a play at, and then it gets underneath his glove and goes to the wall and things like that, that's what I'm not so happy about. And when he's, honestly, I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, when he's hitting, it doesn't look like he's using his legs. When he's running, he looks like he looks different. He looks like he's very much playing scared, and I don't like that at all. I don't know about what you guys have been seeing about that. What do you think?
Tough. Oh, yeah, sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, no. All right. I was just going to say, it's tough because the age-old thing is, awesome, if you play to not get hurt, that's when you're going to get hurt. But then at the same time, every time he's gotten hurt, it's because he's been trying to do the polar opposite of that. So, I mean, obviously that's a tough middle ground to find, but I'm okay with him pulling up on balls so long as that's what's keeping him healthy. But I don't necessarily think that's what it is.
Middle ground right there is the key term out of that, because I think he's still learning the middle ground, that you can, if you're going to pull up on balls and stuff like that, you can't charge it and get ready like you're going to make that sliding catch. If you're going to pull up on it, that's fine, and you want to protect your body, but you can't charge it and then try and either catch it at your ankles or catch on a short hop. You're going to have to play it back a step and, keep the ball in front of you. It worked out fine in that instance, but that's not a sustainable way to play going forward. He's just he's a good enough baseball player. I think he'll figure it out on how to play, kind of like Bryce Harper. He figured out how to play conservatively where he's not fucking smashing his face in the wall on every fly ball. It was a learning curve for him, but he's a good enough baseball player to where he can figure it out.
Yeah.
And still be good.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's almost like a game of would you rather. It's like, would you rather him get injured again or increase his probability of getting injured again, or have him be in the lineup every day hitting? Those are the two options. There's no in between, really. So yeah, I'm okay with it for the most part. If he's letting up on balls, if that allows him to stay healthy and that allows him to continue his production like he's been doing so far, then yeah, I'm cool with it. It's nothing out of the world. We don't need him to do that. The amount of times that a ball's going to be in his reach to dive for a ball and then for him to make that catch, it's so low. So I'd rather him just kind of let up on it and just kind of, stay healthy, stay in the lineup, and that's the most important part.
How close are we to him being an everyday DH? Because
we got no room.
If
only one DH.
If that happens, then we have two everyday DHs who are two behemoths who hit tanks. And
I think
we can't have another DH for another 9 years. So we've got a $300 million part-time DH right now. So
I don't think he's going to turn into the DH. I just think, like we said, once he finds that middle ground, he's just not going to be, the Gold Glove caliber right fielder that we've, got to see in the beginning of his career. He's going to dial it back. No, I know he can be, but if he's not making the diving catches, that kind of thing, he's not, covering as much ground because you're not making those hustle plays that he has to and that he has before. But if I'm okay with him being like an above average right fielder with still a cannon of an arm, we're not losing a ton by him not being the best right fielder in the American League.
You can't tell me he wouldn't be a better first baseman than Jay fucking Bruce.
We're not moving.
That's something
ridiculous.
Shut up. We're not talking.
That actually, I don't hate that.
I mean, I'm not
that at all.
I'm just saying.
Don't even entertain that. That's not.
No,
happening.
not now. But at his size, if we're talking an extension, how long is he going to be?
We'll talk about that.
The worst thing in the world.
Then let's talk about that.
That's not that far down the road. 2025 is 4 years away. I'm not saying that
they're trying to get Talkman to play over there.
I mean, I'm not saying it's inevitable that he's going to end up there. I'm just saying it's a lot better of an idea than just picking some slapdick guy. All right, here, you put on a first baseman's mitt and you go get it done. All you have to do is catch the ball.
That's not sustainable. We're
not doing that.
I was just Talkman makes sense for a couple games here and there.
You can't play.
He can't play anywhere else.
I'm just saying I'm not saying that that's the solution forever. I'm just saying that if there's a time to try it, it would be right now. And if he's clearly pulling up and he's not 100%,
that's already giving up.
I already brought up.
I brought 100% healthy. Then
I brought this up because I don't like that he's pulling up in the ball because I know he is that elite best AL right fielder, Gold Glove caliber player. That's why I'm mad about it. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't even know why you guys went the direction of maybe he could play first. I know you're just shut up for a second. That's the reason why I brought it up. I brought it up because he can so easily just I don't know. I'd rather him not dive after useless plays, but if we have a player who literally can't dive for balls when he needs to, or not even dive, the one that got by him, he just didn't even reach for it. He just looks stiff. I don't know. Maybe he'll loosen up throughout the season, but I need him to be back the way he was because you're saying we're not missing much with Judge not being an elite defender out there. We're totally missing a lot. That's a big
I'm worried
part
that
of
he's
this
not
team.
100% healthy.
We're one of the worst fielding teams. This is another thing I was going to bring up. We're the -9 defensive runs saved. That's 29th in the MLB. The last place team is the Mariners of -16. So if you thought we were bad, imagine being a Mariners fan and watching that baseball. And they're actually doing better than us. They're in second place in their division. But I'm saying we are losing a ton because he's supposed to be one of our elite defenders. There's very few defenders on this team that are elite and can field their position. And when you got a guy like Judge who's pulling up on balls and playing scared, no longer is an elite defender out of the 9 players we have on that field, that is very concerning to me. When you look around the diamond, Gary, below average defender. Gio, above average defender. That's be the same thing. If, Gio isn't even trying anymore over there, that'd be a big deal. Glaber, bad defender. DJ, good defender. First base, Bruce, not even a defender. Center field, if he's there, Hicks is a good defender. Left field, Clint, bad defender so far this year, but usually I guess he was getting better. He's a 50-50 ball, but that's one of the few good defenders I'm trying to paint the picture on this team. And you guys said it wasn't a big deal. That's a fucking huge deal to me that he's not going to be playing like the normal Judge he is.
I mean, he's not bad to where I'm worried when a fly ball's hit to him. There's like Clint right now, when he's in left field, he just looks he catches it. He's not like dropping routine pop-ups aside from the one, but we'll call it the sun. But he just like kind of tracks and like stabs. It's weird.
All right, next. The double plays thing is starting to bother me. I don't know about you guys. I don't have a update on it at the moment. Chandler, can you tell me what?
I think it was 16.
It's 16, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Last I saw.
You know what the crazier thing is? Somehow the Padres are keeping up with us. I think they got around that too.
I just think at this point you have to laugh at it because there's no way there's no way you can do that over a whole season. I knock on wood. Presumably there's no way you can do that for a whole season. Like, yeah, they're putting shitty swings on the ball for the situations, but I mean, at some point, like the Jay Bruce line drive double play, like that, you just have to laugh at it and be like, my God, we can't catch a break. That's not going to keep up.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where I honestly don't even have any comments for it because it's just so ridiculous. It's literally the one of the main reasons our offense can't get going. It's just like everyone just looks so defeated every time they hit a ground ball, and it just happens in the situations where we don't need that to happen. You know, bases loaded, we're big situation in the game. You need to take the lead. You need to, get some insurance runs. Every single time it's a big situation, or it looks like we have promise, or it looks like we have something going on the offense, double play, end it, and that ruins it. And then we have 2 outs, and then we do nothing. So it destroys us. And if it happens, it's been happening more than once a game. And you can't
like 3 times a game.
Yeah.
Jay Bruce, I think, had 2 in one game.
You can't have that happen if you want to win.
What frustrates me is, and it's kind of like the Judge situation in right field, it's the guys loafing it to like Stanton. When he hits and that's your 2-hole hitter the last couple games. When he hits a ground ball in the infield, he like basically walks. Like you might as well put him in a wheelchair and roll him down there. Like, and I get it because he doesn't want to get hurt because he's made of glass, but at the same time, have some sense of urgency at some point. If there's ever a time to break out that whole running tool out of your bag, it's when it's fucking bases loaded and nobody out. Like, hey, maybe we turn it on for this one ground ball and see what happens.
I said this to Damon too. Same thing with Judge too. You said wheelchair him over to first base. This is about Judge when he hits the home run or whatever it was. He had like a double or something. And I said, how about we give him the Babe Ruth treatment? And because Babe Ruth back in the day, rumored, legend has it that he would hit and then somebody else would run out of the box for him to first base. So I think we might have to give that to Judge pretty soon. Same with Stanton. I mean, if he's pulling up on balls,
softball.
If he's pulling up on balls, why don't we just go the whole? Give him the fucking full treatment. You don't want to field, fine. We're also going to run for you to first base out of the box. We're going to make a new rule. Manfred loves new rules, so I think pretty soon, if this continues, we're going to need because I think they may do it too because better product on the field. Judge stays on the field for 150 because he doesn't have to do anything but swing. If DH doesn't have to do anything but swing, but they have to run too. Imagine he just didn't have to run also.
Yeah, swung the bat. And
it's just like beer league softball. You hit a home run, you just walk back to the dugout.
At that rate, we need completely different hitters and different fielders. Just a completely different lineup. That's where this team's going.
That's a whole nother conversation.
It's just,
half of our players can only hit and they can't field or run, so we're not too far away from it.
Let's talk about the lineup a little bit. When that lineup came out, I was very just threw my hands up in the air. Not even just sad. I'm just like, really? Because it doesn't even seem like we're trying anymore. It seems like the Yankees are putting out a team with all the scheduled off days. Everybody seemingly has a scheduled off day. And the other people get off days like normal human beings. Probably after 10 games or something, DJ gets an off day or something. Gio, like every 10 games. That's a normal thing. That's why people don't play 162 That's why people play like 150. There's an off day probably every 10 games or so, I'd say. But when now all these scheduled off days, because people can't go 3 games in a row, some people can't go 2 games in a row, some guys can't fucking play, then these days start to overlap and lineups start to look like, I don't know if you guys have the lineup pulled up.
I do.
No, Damon, coming in hot. I was hoping you had this. When a lineup looks like this.
Hicks, Judge, Gardner, Sanchez, Torres, Bruce, Urshela, Odor, Higashioka.
Okay, so what I was trying to say about that is that when some of these off days are now overlapping, now the team that it isn't just Odor in the lineup instead of DJ one day. It isn't just, Higashioka instead of Gary one day. It's now half the lineup is now replacement players. And you know what the funniest part about this is? We're the healthiest we've ever been in 2 years. So we're the healthiest we've ever been in 2 years. And that's not out of necessity. That's out of prevention of the team getting hurt. And that at some point, I get not wanting to have guys go too deep into games with the pitchers too. Mind you, it's not just on the offensive side of the ball. We're doing it on the other side too. We're preventing. We're trying to not let them get hurt. People aren't doing too much. At some point, when you do this, you're not playing to win games today. You're playing for the playoffs. And if you do that for a long enough time with a shitty enough team like this, with Odor and other guys like that just in the lineup every day, it seems, you might not make the playoffs because it's not expanded this time. And I'm not raising my panic meter right now, but it doesn't seem like they want to win games. It seems like they're putting out a team like the playoffs are just given. Have they not noticed that we're in such bad shape right now? And at some point they have to ramp up this. I don't know. I don't even know if that's going to be what happens. I mean, I don't know. It's just
there's a 0.00000 reason that Jay Bruce, 1, should be playing almost every day, and 2, batting 6th. You're going to tell me that Jay Bruce, that just shows me that they don't give a fuck about production. It's all about lefty righty. Because if you can look me in the eye and tell me that Jay Bruce should be batting above Gio, I'd tell you go fuck yourself. There's just no way. There's no way. Gio's been one of the only decent hitters on the team this year, and you're going to tell me that Jay Bruce is the better option after you get through Gardner in this weird ass lineup. Yeah, Judge, Gardner, Sanchez, Glaber, presumably some pretty good hitters, right? And then Jay Bruce. What the fuck is going to kill a rally like a double play ball from 40-year-old Jay Bruce?
It makes no sense. And listen, I'd be fine with it if it made sense and they had some reasoning behind it. But they talk all about lefty righties and how they construct a lineup about lefty righties. And then in lefty-righty situations, they don't make that change. You know what I mean? Like in a game where, need a pinch hit for, or there's situational or hitting, and there's clearly lefty-righty matchup, and they don't change it, then they're just going back on their methods that they think is what they want us to hear. And it doesn't make any sense. If the lineup made sense, I would get it, or if we had injuries, I get it, but if the guy's
healthiest we've ever been in 2 years.
If the guy's healthy, fucking play him.
Everybody but Voit is healthy. I think Voit has more of a chance of playing 2 games in a row while he's hurt in the boot than Giancarlo Stanton does just DHing. Hot take alert. Not hot. That's very lukewarm take.
Like it doesn't make sense. And I want to try and justify it somehow, but it
why
just
do you want to
doesn't.
justify it?
Because I want to find some way to go inside of his brain and be like, that makes sense, but I can't.
Well, that's why you made the Boone translator.
Boone's translator, go follow me.
Boone's translator.
You're 100% right though. Like lineups like this, that's great for like mid-September. We're on pace to win 103 games and run away with the division. You roll this lineup out for game 150, okay. But like, oh shit, let's see if we can keep it close to the Blue Jays. We can't do this. You can't do this. You're not going to make it to that part of the season. Well, what are you going to do when you roll out this lineup for months, and you're hanging around? Or let's just say best case scenario, this lineup performs to remotely what they're capable of, and you have a small lead. Then you're forced down the stretch to play your guys every single day so you can win the division. Like you don't build a lead to rest guys with a lineup like this. If you're hell bent on resting people, why would you want to rest them now and not in September?
Listen, I think that if their method is they want to give people rest days, great, fine. I'm all for that. but don't give all your stars the same rest day. That's bad. That's bad managing. If you want to give LeMahieu an off day, sure, great, fine. Put Stanton in there. Let him DH. Let Sanchez catch. Give Sanchez his off day when fucking Garrett Cole's pitching. That's his off day. You want to give Judge an off day, fine. Don't put, some random ass person in right field to fill that void. Like, schedule your lineup based around off days. That's fine, but don't give everyone the same off day to have us have a lineup that looks like this.
You know what the problem is? The problem is that the people are getting scheduled off days, and also people are getting benched. So it's a mixture of the two.
Pick one. It's 10 games in the season. Pick one.
It's not pick one. It's just don't bench people, because if you're gonna have scheduled off days, that's why it's not this guy gets his off day when this guy does, because there's too many people to do that. That's what I was trying to say before, is that there's an overlap because there's just so many people. There's not only people getting their scheduled off days, but now Clint's getting benched. Stanton's getting benched, and that's not a scheduled off day. He just got straight up benched too. It's just people need the reset button, but at some point you just gotta let the guys figure it out on their own. The only way to actually play and figure it out is to be in the batter's box and figure it out. Just trial by fire. You gotta throw them into the lineup, and they gotta figure it out, because eventually they're gonna be the guys that need to figure it out in the playoffs, and you can't just, it's not like they can just turn it on. You have to play. Why do I watch every other team and everybody's playing every single day? Why?
Dude, look
Acuna
at
plays every day. He's amazing. He's a great baseball player.
Diving
He's playing
all over
really
the
well,
place.
but he plays every day. I watch
You think
every
if
other
Acuna
team.
had a 110 stretch, they would bench him immediately and be like, nope, sorry, we're going to bring back
Acuna was on the Yankees, he would. If Acuna was on the
we're
Yankees,
going to bring back Nick Markakis and play him because
no, you know what would
I
happen?
mean, I know I'm not saying, Clint isn't Acuna, but at the same time, like, what the fuck are you doing? There's no rhyme or, it's just like the lineup. There's no rhyme or reason for the benchings. Like, you bench Clint, but then you've got fucking Jay Bruce start. He had the most at bats on the Yankees going into the last game. Most at bats on the Yankees going into the last game was Jay fucking Bruce.
I truly
who doesn't even have a position.
That if Acuna was on the Yankees, he would be benched just because. And you know what it is? Because he'll always be hot. So he'll just be, if you're going through a 500 batting average stretch like right now, hey, he had a scheduled off day, and then he cools off. Like, you don't do that for anybody. Judge, the hottest player on the team, or whatever, whoever the fuck is just scorching hot. How many times have we seen a player scorching hot, and then he just has a scheduled off day, and they stick to their guns and give him the off day? Maybe just let the fucking hot hand ride. That's what goes on. You can't just get somebody cold all the time. This team makes no sense. I could fucking manage this team so much better than Boone. I hate it. And it's not Boone. I get it. It's everybody else. This is the same song and dance we've dealt with before. And it's because the management and Cashman, whoever makes the fucking decisions, the Steinbrenners, George would be in his grave turning over. It's just ridiculous. It's Jay Bruce, the worst Yankee I've ever seen.
So, yeah. Yep.
I actually saw a thing about it the other day. They did the stats of the worst starts ever in Yankee history, and he was in the top 5.
Wait, can I guess? Do you have it in front of you?
I can pull it up
because I want to guess who the other people were. I mean, one of them has to be Kendry Morales.
No, I don't think
Robinson.
So. Hold on, let me see if I can find
Jacoby Ellsbury, Chris Carter.
Chris Carter is definitely one.
I put Jay Bruce in that rarefied territory.
Okay, here we go. Worst offensive performances from since 2014. So, excuse me, but you have Zoilo Almonte, who still did better than Jay Bruce. Gregorio Petit, whatever, better than him. Shane Robinson's on there, but also better than Jay Bruce. Zealous Wheeler, better than Jay Bruce. Brendan Drury, Adenny Hinchavarria, Tyler Wade. Oh, Morales is on there. Tyro, Steven Drew. Okay, so he is the worst. He is the worst offensive player that the Yankees have had since 2014.
So the thing too is that I remember Kendry Morales having a home run one time, and it was like Bartolo Colon hitting home run. It was the coolest thing ever because it was so unlikely. I think Jay Bruce is worse than that. I think he's just he's slow. He's just you're putting him out there. It almost to me seems like the pitcher is up. And there are some pitchers in this league that are better hitters than Jay Bruce. There's a few actually. Mad Bum, Scherzer, Kershaw, any NL pitcher probably. Honestly,
I mean, I think Kershaw has more hits this year than Jay Bruce.
Maybe some AL pitchers too that haven't even picked up a bat. CC would be a better hitter. We should bring CC back and just have him park himself at first base. Because that's the thing too. Not only is he, sometimes people play their way into a position and then you just deal with the defense. He's not only the worst offensive player we've ever seen on the Yankees start a season out, but he also is out of position and can't field a position. So what are we even doing here? Why don't we, at this point, and I'm not a big Mike Ford supporter, give the guy a fucking nudge. What do you think Mike Ford's thinking right now? Maybe even throw fucking Tyler Wade at first. I think he could figure it out.
It's honestly sad. Like, he was a good player for a long time. It's like, yeah, you have your dog that's like dying in the backyard. You're still trying to play fetch with him. Like, yeah, he's, maybe it's just time to let him rest a little bit. We have to accept that he's not going to go play fetch for an hour anymore. That's Jay Bruce. Maybe he's not an all-star baseball player anymore. It's time to realize that and just, hey,
who plays first on Friday? Guess right now, Chandler.
Jay Bruce.
yeah.
Either him or DJ.
And then Odor.
And then Odor at second. They looked like they were starting to do that, and then DJ had a scheduled off day right when he was getting hot.
Do you put any weight into all these guys taking reps at first? I saw fucking Hicks taking reps at second. That was a joke, but do you put any weight into the Talkmans taking reps at first or anything? Honestly, I never wanted to be like all for that kind of thing, but at a certain point, and I think this is the point, it ain't gonna get much worse. And if you slip a guy at first base, you're gonna at least get that guy's offensive production, and that's half better than Bruce. You're gonna get equally. But first base, you need to catch. We have such bad fielders that we need them.
I wouldn't.
Glaber is not gonna get much better with the fucking guy basically catching with his opposing hand.
I wouldn't mind seeing Talkman out there one day.
You can't get worse. You literally can't get worse. Jay Bruce cannot catch a ball unless it hits him in the chest, and he doesn't have to stretch. Like the ball that Glaber threw, 3 or 4 games ago, that literally didn't even skip to him. He just had already stretched and was like doing the splits the wrong direction and missed it. Like, you cannot get worse than that. He can't catch routine. Like, that is a routine first baseman play. You think Voit or even fucking Mike Ford's going to miss that? No.
Well, Mike Ford can play first base. That's his position. That's why I'm honestly calling for him, because at a certain point, what won Jay Bruce this job that they keep putting him out there and not bring Mike Ford?
Nothing.
He played semi well in the spring, better than Mike Ford did. But what does that matter? Honestly, does Dietrich play first?
He can.
Maybe. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what's
does not
going
play
on.
first. He's not a first baseman.
When's Voit coming back?
Jay Bruce has played, before his Yankee career, he's played 30 games at first base in his entire career. He's not a first baseman. So how can you justify not throwing someone else out there or bringing up Mike Ford? He's not a first baseman.
I can play first.
Better than him.
They're banking. I don't get it too, because you're banking on his bat, which clearly hasn't come around. But
which sucks, by the way.
Hold on. This is where I'm getting at. You're giving him all these opportunities. Where are those opportunities for Clint Frazier, who's not 100 years old and has shown that? And he clearly needs the fucking reps. And then you bench him, and you're like, all right, well, Jay Bruce, you go ahead and get your cane.
You were good.
First, and yeah, you can take a few balls off the chin for us as long as you keep doing that bang up job hitting.
So
you strike out every fucking at bat.
So he has 300 plus home runs. Can we? Yeah. I did think he was a good player. Can we go check the tape, because I don't know if those are lies now.
I mean, he's really old.
I know he's really old, but it's starting to make me think a little bit. Who did he face? Did he face the Jay Bruce version of himself throwing the ball?
Was pretty good.
How many times does he hit against position players?
No, he was pretty good. It was just he's just old. That's his criteria. He's just old. But it makes no sense. I can't get over the fact that he played 30 games as a first baseman in his entire 100-year-old career, and they can't give anyone else an opportunity there.
What's Edwin Encarnacion doing? He's not on a team right now. Let's give him a fucking call.
He's done. Or here's the idea.
I think he would, if somebody gave him the ring, said, "Hey, you want to try it again? Let's run this back."
Or here's an idea. How about we not hire an old ass left-handed hitter and give a young guy a chance to fucking hit?
Who we could do?
What?
Were you gonna? Were you gonna say the same thing?
What were you gonna say?
I don't think you're thinking the same thing I am.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
If you say Jason Dominguez.
No, I was gonna say Austin Wells.
Oh no,
Austin Wells. They're thinking about converting him to first base. I say give him the fucking call, only because I know they won't do it, but I'm just thinking of alternate scenarios.
Anyone else?
He's a good lefty bat. They love that. It's probably why they drafted him so early, first round. He probably honestly would have fell to like the third round if he didn't bat lefty.
I mean, here's the thing: if you're hitting above 100 and don't make errors at first, then you're better than Jay Bruce.
Listen, man.
So if we can find,
it's true,
and I guarantee that Mike Ford.
I'm Bill Ford tough right now.
I think
I'm all for Mike Ford.
I think Austin Wells and I think Mike Tauchman could all do better jobs at first base.
I think honestly, we make jokes.
That's 100% true.
I think Dominguez would play better at first right now, and I think I think he would sell more tickets.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's unrealistic to say that Jay Bruce has been the worst player in baseball so far.
This is fun. Let's keep talking about this. I would love to continue shitting on Jay Bruce. You really think that he's going to be first base on Friday?
Tomorrow? I wouldn't. It would not surprise.
Given Boone's mentality, there's nothing saying that he's gonna not play first.
Well, hold on. Do we have a pitcher? Do we have a pitcher for the Rays? Because if it's a righty, then he absolutely will be starting tomorrow.
We're facing Glasnow and Yarborough.
If we're facing Glasnow, yeah, he'll be at first.
That means Brett Gardner's going to play. Frazier's going to be benched. Jay Bruce is going to be out there. And who's pitching?
Supposedly Glasnow. That's what.
No, for the Yankees.
Oh, they were talking about giving it to either King or Debbie. It's not announced yet. Yeah, neither starters are announced.
No, Debbie just pitched a little bit in the minors a couple days ago, so he won't be going tomorrow. It's going to be either bullpen day or King. Why not give it to fucking King? The bullpen's already taxed. They get a day off, but that doesn't just reset them. Give it to him. Give it to King. King, that annoyed me too. You don't play the hot hand again. He was one of the best pitchers on the Yankees. That individual performances. Yeah. Let the man work. What if he's breaking out? You see, he never even has the chance to break out because you didn't let him continue what he started. He went. What was his stat line when he went the other day?
Yeah, he went 6 1/3
innings pitched.
Yeah, retired 15 straight or 16 straight. Like, here, congrats on your best ever job in MLB. You made the roster. You did amazing. You lived up to your bill. Go fucking enjoy AAA, buddy. Wait, you get the treatment that whoever should get for getting fucking shelled. But you know what? You don't really fit our mold.
What do you think Paul O'Neill's doing? You think he could play first?
He could do it better than fucking Jay Bruce.
I've seen the the legend softball game, the Old Timers Day. He could still rake.
Swisher, I'm sure
Swisher would be 100% better at first base
too. The second they gave him the ring, he'd be already
at the stadium. Running there.
He'd be a spark.
I mean, wait. Yeah. Honestly, how much older is he than Jay Bruce? Probably the same age.
Probably not that much older.
Wait, I'll look it up. What were your guesses?
I mean, I'm going to say
probably 48.
34.
What?
Fisher?
All right, Jay Bruce is 34 years old. He seems 1,000.
He's only 34.
Dude, he looks 45. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he looks like I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't even want to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to be mean to Jay Bruce because he seems like a decent guy.
This guy is ready to go.
He's ready to rock.
Nick Swisher is ripped still. He could rake.
He's pitched before.
Exactly.
He's pitched.
He's already working for the Yankees. It's not a long phone call.
So he's here.
Yeah.
He's literally
and available.
Just throw him a fucking jersey. He's probably got his jersey still.
Give him a 1-day contract. See what happens.
If he gets a home run, I think we trade the whole team and let Nick Swisher draft his own.
All right, this show stinks. Let's end it here. Let's end it here. If you're here and you made it this far, you honestly made it through a ton. We had multiple technical difficulties. We pieced it together because that's what we're doing. I'm going to the game tomorrow and the next day, actually. Let's hope for some Boone Savages in the box freaking out. It's going to be, like I said, I got the vibes. I feel it. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be gloomy. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed or canceled. We get to 225 5-star ratings by the next episode on Tuesday. I'll change it up this time. I'll send a DoorDash to your address if you feel like giving me your address, I'm not going to do anything. I'll just send you a DoorDash, whatever you want. So Chipotle or something. But if you want that, let me know.
Fuck, I want Chipotle.
I'm going to have some Chipotle too. Also, subscribe to the YouTube, Bronx Pinstripes YouTube. We do the shows live on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, that's where we'll be. So until next time, this team stinks. This show stinks. See you later.